Today, we're diving into the Sirui Sniper 23mm f1.2 lens, a focal length that's particularly close to my heart. My love for the 23mm focal length, equivalent to 35mm on a full frame, dates back to my early days in photography school around 2005. This focal length has been my go-to for street photography and environmental portraits, capturing life as I see it. When Sirui announced their Kickstarter for a 23mm f1.2 lens at about $300, I was intrigued. My experience with 23mm lenses, particularly on the Fujifilm system, ranges from the Fuji 23mm f2 to the Viltrox 23mm f1.4. The Fuji 23mm f2 is a commendable lens, but I've noticed it tends to soften at the crucial distance that is typically the sweet spot for portraits, especially when shot wide open. This softness at a key focal range can be a bit of a drawback for portrait photography. On the other hand, the Viltrox 23mm f1.4 has impressed me with its clarity and overall performance, standing out as a sharper alternative in similar conditions. Now, the Sirui 23mm f1.2 lens enters the scene with its f1.2 aperture, a tempting proposition indeed. This review won't focus much on technical sharpness or how the lens behaves from a technical standpoint. We all know that lenses tend to soften when wide open, and this lens is no exception. But the real reason you'd choose an f1.2 lens is to use it at that aperture, to capture the world in a way only such a wide aperture can. From my previous experiences with top-tier f1.2 lenses like the Fujifilm 56 and the Sony 50mm GM, I've come to understand the level of quality and sharpness these lenses can offer, especially when used wide open. These lenses are benchmarks in their class, delivering exceptional sharpness and clarity even at their widest apertures. However, it's important to remember that they are also significantly more expensive. The Sony GM, for instance, costs nearly 10 times more than the Sirui. Given this context, it wouldn't be fair to directly compare the Sirui with these high-end models. While the Sirui may not match the premium lens's level of performance, it's crucial to set appropriate expectations for a lens that's priced around $300. It brings something interesting to the table, a balance of affordability and quality. By setting your expectations right, you might find that the Sirui has a unique charm and value, especially for those who are exploring the world of wide aperture photography without breaking the bank. It brings surprisingly good build quality to the table within its price range. I opted for the black version, which features carbon fiber, a simple yet elegant design with no aperture ring, fully controlled by the camera. It's a design compromise I'm willing to make for an f1.2 lens. Using this lens has been a mixed experience. I noticed more out-of-focus shots than usual, which could be attributed to the combination of the f1.2 aperture and the lens's characteristics. The depth of field at f1.2 is razor thin, and while this can lead to some stunning imagery, it also demands precision and patience. In various lighting conditions, from night scenes to broad daylight, the lens reveals its true character. When shooting wide open at f1.2, it's evident that the lens has its flaws. It's a bit soft, and this softness is something that can often require correction in post-production. If the focus is accurate, applying sharpness in editing can remarkably improve the image. Despite its flaws, such as diffractions, green chromatic aberrations, and purple fringing, these imperfections don't detract from its real-world performance. In fact, they somehow balance well within the context of the images it produces. This lens, with its unique character, teaches us to appreciate the mood and feel of the photographs it captures, rather than judging it solely on technical perfection. Its ability to perform admirably in practical scenarios, even with these flaws, is what makes it special. Regarding size, it's not the smallest lens out there, but it's not overly bulky either. However, when used for extended periods, like a whole day of street photography, you do start to feel its presence, something I haven't experienced with other 23mm lenses. But then again, those weren't f1.2. So, what's the real difference between f1.2 and f1.4? It boils down to two things: background blur and light gathering. When comparing images shot at both apertures, the differences are there, but they're subtle. The bokeh at f1.2 is slightly more pronounced, and the additional light can be a boon in certain situations. But is it worth the compromises? That's the question. Carrying a larger lens, accepting a bit more softness than you'd get at f1.4, it's a trade-off. Using this lens has been fun, but there have been times during my street photography adventures when I've swapped it out for a smaller lens. The size and user experience matter, and sometimes practical use can tell you more than just a visual inspection. Autofocus performance has been solid. I've used it on all available focus modes on my Fujifilm X-T5, and it's been reliable. While not the fastest, it gets the job done. This is essential for a lens that you'd use in a dynamic environment like the streets. Sirui is known for their characteristic film lenses, and while I haven't ventured into video with this lens, I can imagine it performing well. In terms of stills, this lens is a heavy hitter. It has a unique character that Sirui lenses are known for, and it certainly brings that to the table in the realm of still photography. In conclusion, the Sirui Sniper 23mm f1.2 is a fascinating lens. It's not just about the images it produces, but also the experience of using it. It's a lens that challenges you, that makes you think about your shot, and when it all comes together, the results can be truly magical. And that brings us to the end of our dive into the Sirui 23mm f1.2 lens. I hope this review has given you a comprehensive look at what this lens has to offer and how it stands in the world of photography, especially for those who are passionate about capturing life with a unique perspective. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this review helpful and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot and helps me continue to bring you reviews and insights into the art of photography. Until next time, keep exploring the world through your lens and always keep the creativity flowing. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.